What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with another AEW Weekend Review, where I recap and review everything that happened this week in programming for Dark, Dynamite, BTE, and also for this week, the Women's Tag Team Tournament, which also came to a close on the special episode of Dynamite, which happened yesterday on Saturday due to the NBA playoffs. I did my preview and predictions and my recap and review for NXT TakeOver, which you can find on the channel, as well as my preview for tonight's SummerSlam. I'll do a recap and review for that tomorrow, as well as some stuff for DC, some of the trailers that came out. I also tweeted a lot about it because I did watch a lot of the fandom up until wrestling started. So I'm just going to whip through everything as best as I can, as informative as I can, just in case you didn't watch it or you just want to hear my thoughts. Either or. So we started with BTE, the episode entitled Gold Man. We'll get to that. Best friends are prepping to kill Brandon outdoors, but there's a lot of people there, so I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to get away with it. So Brandon actually approaches them, apologizes based on his convo with the Bucks from last week, where they kind of explained away all the things he heard in the EVP room when they were actually murdering Colt. Classic travel hallucination. The best friends say, they will get him a bit. But they can't wait to kill. But then, as he leaves, they say they can't wait to kill that motherfucker. So we'll see if they end up killing him. So the Bucks are at Walmart hunting for their toys, the new toy line that just got released. They only got to hold the prototypes. They actually haven't held the actual toys themselves. So they went by where the WWE toys are. They went to where theirs would be, but they're all sold out. So the Bucks are now at Daily Place talking about the Tag Team Appreciation Night. They're excited to get back in the ring with Dark Order because they have a history with them dating all the way back to PWG. We got a Speaking Spanglish segment, Hispanic Courtroom, allegations against Santana and Ortiz, Judge Dasha with an extremely long name. So Marvez and Stun are the plaintiffs. Marco's Tinder analytics have plummeted, and that's why they're after him, because of the Chisme, whatever it was. So an objection by Ortiz. Marco had no Tinder dates before this. So Marco and Ortiz are arguing. Dasha asks for order. The Dark Order come in. Like, did somebody say order? Knox is the bailiff and uses his count out to get Dark Order out of there. So yes, the Chisme. Dasha sides with Santana and Ortiz, and then apparently there's some more about Marvez, which they're spilling the tea on that. Bucks are in the EVP room, and it's a mess. Christopher Daniels is looking for Cole for coaching stuff. Cole has been missing for a couple of weeks now. Nick thinks it might be because of Kenny. Matt finds Kenny's cleaner glasses on top of his bag. So obviously we see a little bit about this, on Dynamite, kind of this kind of transformation of Kenny, or possible transformation. Cutler Cam with the Bucks match from Dynamite. Christopher Daniels does his best 50 plus for 50 plus segment, where he's wearing fake eyebrows and a mustache, and he was going about reverse mortgages and stuff like that, thinking that that's what old people want to hear about. So we get Hardy apologizing to the ref from beating him up on Dynamite. Hardy then chokes out this guy Dryson. He says he doesn't know anyone anymore. So he's kind of obviously going through this weird stage where I don't know if it's a CTE concussion thing, or he's just all of his personalities are messing with him. So Matt calls Cutler, since he's nerdy AF about 50 for 50 plus, needs something boring and slow and plotting. So he thinks that's obviously something nerdy. He said no way WWE would license them a Randy Orton match. Nice little dig there. So they give Cutler a video of how to build a PC, figuring that's what they want. But I don't get that, because old people don't buy and or build PCs. So we get the Dark Order. They need to get their act together and recruit. So Moxley hates them. Tom Arnold, they need somebody tough. Sinbad back in the action. Paulie Shore, which one? Obviously Biodome. Avalon says Encino Man pops in. Avalon says he knows what they're looking for people. Leva isn't pleased about this. Reynolds and Silver say no. Avalon won't take the hint. He keeps trying to get in, but don't tell Brandon. Obviously, because he's like, we're a tag team, don't tell him. But Brandon's like, dude, I'm recording the whole thing. Dark Order, now they're in the room together. Brody says Uno fucked up last week with the papers. Brody says to hit the next person that walks in, and then Uno hits Tony Schiavone, who walks in. Brody's pissed off. They walk out together. There's a weird filter of Colt looking for help. He won't go in the EVP room, obviously, because of what happened 2 weeks ago. The doc is shocked to see him, and he goes, "That's a lot of gold, man." So apparently, when they were pouring gold all over him and doing other creepy things, and that is BTE. The only thing really of note, I guess, the continuation of Matt Hardy having his issues with his head, Kenny possibly being the cleaner again. So, Dark Order is just always funny. All right, so we get our women's tag team tournament, the semifinals. So we get the Swoles versus the Nightmare Sisters. Brandy's in front of Allie. Allie looks almost a little annoyed. Almost like a double turn we're looking at, because Brandy's now getting to be a little too big for her britches with the two action figures. The Swoles are taking control. They're doing the kid and play dance. We get a blind tag to Brandy, super kick to Little Swole. The sisters are working heel for sure in this. Swole in and takes out action figures and Allie, and obviously Brandy only cares about the action figures. Blue Thunder Bomb on Allie for a 2 count. Britt Baker with a megaphone distracting Swole, and then Allie hits the kind of slop drop elbow for the win. Swole chases after Britt Baker and Reba in the Rolls Royce. We then get Conti and Anna Jay versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Anna comes out with the Dark Order. Conti with an armbar on Ivelisse through the rope. Anna Jay looking good against Diamante. We get Ivelisse gets advantage on Anna Jay. Diamante wearing LAX shorts. It's pretty cool. Hot tag to Conti. She does this gory special knee, and then we get a tilt-a-world side slam on Diamante. Ivelisse breaks up the pin. Stereo Casadora stunner DDT. One does the stunner, one does the DDT. And then we get an assisted sliced bread on Conti for the win. So now we get the finals of Ivelisse and Diamante versus the Nightmare Sisters, which will be on Dynamite, which I'll get to. So we get right after that Nightmare Sisters backstage interview. Brandy said she had to make the save. Brandy backtracks. Still talking about the figures though. Ivelisse backstage interview. They do some weird tandem interview. I didn't get it. We then go to Dark. Veda Scott is also on commentary now. Michael Nakazawa versus Kip Sabian. We get a spear by Nakazawa for a 2 count. Olympic slam by Naka, but he then goes for the thong. Kip reverses the thong. Springboard, tornado DDT, and then does the Deathly Hallows for the win. Pretty quick match, but obviously using the oil, the whole thing there, doing his shtick. We get Sean Dean and Frank Stone versus Janela and Kiss. We get a cravat split cutter for a 2 count. Neckbreaker fallaway slam on Kiss for a 2 count. Eventually, they get the top rope elbow drop by Janela, and then the split leg drop from the top on Dean for the win. I'm kind of really ripping through these just because I got so much to do. Sean Spears versus Will Hobbs. Obviously, Sean Spears, Hobbs is using his power, but eventually Sean Spears hits the C4 Death Valley driver for the win. Post-match, Sean Spears gives a beatdown on the knee, and then uses the loaded glove on Hobbs. We get a Ricky Starks promo, which is really, really great. He's calling out Darby for tearing up his back with the skateboard with the tacks on it. Really great mic work by Ricky Starks. We see even more of it on Dynamite. TH2 versus the Initiative. So we get Angelico uses the book on Avalon. Takes it from Leva. Evans with only a 2 count. We get hot tag to Cutler, swinging side slam on Evans for a 2 count. We get the Martinis, and then on Evans, and then we get a spring elbowed by Cutler, but the pin is broken up. We get an assisted 450 on Cutler for a 2 count. Springboard moonsault by Jack Evans up to the outside. Leva with a Rana off the apron on Evans. So this is something she's becoming more and more into. A Razor's Edge buckle bomb by Angelico on Avalon. Eventually, Jack Evans hits the 630 on Avalon for the win. So the Initiative still winless. Red Velvet versus Abaddon. This is pretty much squash. Abaddon was no selling most of the offense. Eventually hits a cemetery drive, which is a gory special neck breaker for the win. We get Silver Reynolds and Cole Cabana versus D3 Ryzen Fabu Andre. Fabu Andre, I think, is the only one that I've seen there before. So Silver and Reynolds were trying to do a little heel work. Colt was actually not cool with that, trying to tell him that they don't need it. Eventually, we get a double German suplex, a flying apple, and then a double destroyer DDT on D3 for the win. It was actually pretty cool. Silver and Reynolds are really good. Obviously, Colt Cabana is Colt Cabana. We get Ricky Starks versus Lee Johnson. I'm really high on Lee Johnson. So Starks with a mock coffin drop. And then Ricky with the Rochambeau Dominator Slam for the win. Lee Johnson's in the ring. Then Wardlow comes out. You think Wardlow's going to give him the beatdown, but he just makes Lee put on the MJF pin, walks off. So he's still part of that crew. Tony Donati and Baron Black versus Santana Ortiz. This was really quick. Sit-out powerbomb on Donati with a front kick by Santana for the win. That's pretty much it. Lance Archer versus John Cruz and Jesse Sorensen. So obviously Cruz doesn't come out with Jesse. We know why. Lance Archer comes out with John Cruz on his shoulders, tosses him into the ring, basically just beats the shit out of them, does the double EBD, the Everybody Dies Claw for the win. Jake pretends he was going to do the DDT after, kind of getting the crowd all hyped, and then says, nah, just teases everybody. We get Alan Angels versus Billy Gunn next. I was actually expecting Alan Angels to get the win here just because Dark Order, they wanted to put over Dark Order. But Billy messes with Taz before he comes in, hugs Aubrey Edwards, the ref. The Dark Order are out again with 5, a.k.a. Alan Angels. Basically, he just can't get through the power of Billy. Billy's just so much bigger than him. And every time Alan Angels starts to get some offense in, Billy just kind of takes advantage. Billy does the suck it, but he misses the famouser, which I thought was very interesting because he hasn't been. That's the first time I've seen him do the suck it. Clutch slam by Billy for the win. Basically just gets him in like kind of a cobra clutch and then just picks him up and slams him on the ground. Almost like a Colossus, I think it is, from, what's his name, in WWE. So Silver and Reynolds are out for a post-match beatdown. Austin comes out with the chair to kind of scare them off. We then get our main event, Private Party and SCU versus the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade. Private Party kind of had their old gear on. Beat down on Kaz in the opponent's corner. Private Party double team on Penta for 2 count. Crazy loud slap by Penta on Cassidy. I mean, some of his slaps and his chops are the best. Ray with the super kick to Blade. Hot tag to Quen. He misses. Hits Blade. Hot tag to Quen. Neckbreaker set up. Float over DDT by Quen on Ray. Phoenix, obviously. Kick for kick with Ray and Quen. Stereo Pescados by Private Party. Package Pile Driver by Penta on CD is broken up by Kaz. And then Butcher and the Blade hit their finisher on CD for the win. So that is everything from Dark. Let's see, what are we at right now? Not bad. Dynamite. So this actually was a fantastic episode of Dynamite. We get Private Party versus FTR. So it goes right into the match. No entrances, just straight in. Tully's now out with FTR. He has an FTR jacket on. Stereo drop kicks on FTR by Private Party. Taz teases something for Darby later tonight. FTR in control on Quen. Finally, a hot tag to Cassidy. Springboard flip stunner on Dax for a 2 count. Springboard crossbody by Quen off a blind tag for a close 2 count. We get a vicious spinebuster by Cash. Cassidy breaks up the pin. We get Tully pulls Dax away from Cassidy doing a pescado. Quen gets posted, and then a wild Goodnight Express on Quen for the win. He got super high up in the air. We get a Mox promo, says MJF should ask his wife about all his faults if MJF is looking for material against Moxley. Funny because obviously Renee Young is now leaving WWE. He said typically the toughest guys don't need to talk, so what are you hiding? He puts over MJF, says one day he'll move out of his parents' basement and he'll lose his virginity, and he wants him to be the face of the company, but not yet. MJF is in a neck brace. This was great. He talks about awful dictators, and he's got like tears in his eyes. Nina is smiling through the whole thing, which is really funny because obviously, he wants her to smile more. So while like MJF is talking about his pain, she's smiling. It's really funny. MJF talking about having a family one day. Papa, why can't you play with us? Because Moxley used the paradigm shift. He has his attorney there. Sorry, I've got an itch. A petition to ban the paradigm shift from the match. The attorney has a decent promo, kind of funny. Even though it's completely ridiculous. We get the Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express versus Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade. No entrances as well. Don't even get to announcements. The fight just starts right away. Stereo Tope con Hilos by Lucha Brothers. QT tried to do too much. He was trying to do a bunch of different moves and just it got caught up with him. Dustin triple teamed on the outside. Hot tag to Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy barely hits the suicide dive on Butcher. Missed him bad. He looked like he almost hurt himself. He does a much better one on the opposite side on Phoenix. We get a Tope con Hilo by Jungle Boy taking out Butcher and the Blade. We get a tail whip kick, a choke slam, and a standing moonsault by Luchasaurus on Penta. A Shining Wizard by Butcher on Luchasaurus. Wasn't exactly clean, but seeing the big man, do something like that was kind of interesting. We get this pop-up destroyer by Dustin, but it just looked bad. It looked like I see what they were trying to do, but it looked like everyone was going to be hurt by that. Penta and Blade start arguing. Blade is pushed into a pin by Jungle Boy for the win. So now they're all arguing now. They're about to look like they're going to come to blows. Kingston comes out. TNT knows drama, but they don't need to know it. He's calling each one out, saying how great they are. He says, stick with me, let's hug it out. You don't need to fight. Gets everyone to calm down. So obviously, I'm guessing this is some kind of new faction or what. I don't know. So we get in the gym with Britt and Reba, and then she's like, "What's that sound?" And it's Kip and Ford making out. And then Kip is doing pretending he's doing reps. So he says 69,000 reps. Nice. Britt offers free dental care if they help with Swole. She said that she has a match, but they don't have what kind of match. But at the same time, we find out this match is next week, but it's supposed to be at All Out because that's what Britt said she was going to be good by. So I don't know. She says she'll throw in Reba free hair and makeup for the year, and it's a deal. Reba's not pleased that she's going to be doing it for free. So we get Orange Cassidy for the first interview with Tony in the ring. He comes out with Best Friends. Jericho's music hits before he even gets a word out. Comes with the bubbly in the hand. He congratulates Cassidy on the win. He's proud of Cassidy. He's learning. Jericho wants a rubber match, though, because he says, I have a win, you have a win. But since he's a genius, he came up with a certain match that had ladders and a briefcase, obviously Money in the Bank. He said, put the two of us together, and what do you got? Mimosa Mayhem match. Throws to a video package that has, like the movie guy voice, so it's pin, submission, or dunked in a mimosa tank at All Out, which is very weird. Trent trying not to laugh, you can tell. We get a half thumbs up of acceptance by Cassidy. So then he says he wants to celebrate, toast with the inner circle, surround the ring. A fight breaks out, and then we get a juice effect on Cassidy, and then they hold Cassidy upside down and then pouring bubbly all over him, which is pretty rough. So we get the Dark Order, Silver, Reynolds, and Angels versus the Elite, the Bucks, and Omega. Matt with locomotive Northern suplexes on Angels, and then does a double Northern Lights on Silver and Reynolds. Casadora Kataro cutter combo by the Elite. We get Stereo Pescados by the Bucks. You Can't Escape the attempt by Omega, but it gets broken up. Chair kicked into Omega's head on the outside, and a stomp from the apron on top of the chair. We get an assisted suplex on the outside on Matt. Shotgun dropkick bulldog by the Bucks on Reynolds. That combination, I always like that. We get a stunner, then a German suplex combo by the Dark Order for a 2 count on Omega. Omega starts hitting snapdragons on everyone, does a V trigger to Reynolds. We get Stereo 2 stones by the Dark Order that kind of reversed when the Bucks were trying to go for a Meltzer driver. We get like a coup de grace by Angels on Matt, and then Omega breaks that up. Angel goes for a moonsault and gets double super kicked by the Bucks. Nick with a springboard twisting plancha to the outside. We then get the Indie Taker and then a one-winged Angel on Angels for the win. And then Kenny then brings a chair in, kind of flips upside down and is about to slam Angels on it, and Matt removes the chair because that would just been like murder. He just power bombs Angels without it. But he's looking really pissed off, and Matt and Nick are just like, yo, calm down. But this is where we're seeing the kind of turn by Kenny, kind of moving into the cleaner role. We get backstage with FTR. There will be a gauntlet tag team match, according to, I think Marvez was the one doing it, to determine the number one contender at All Out. Bucks and Natural Nightmares will start. Then there'll be the Best Friends, then FTR, since they're the top ranked. Hangman comes in. He's drunk with a drink in his hands. He's mad that they faked the knee injury. They gave him a beer because he was finished with his booze. But they said last week had nothing to do with Hangman. The Rock and Roll Express disrespected them, and they had to fake the knee injury to see if they could trust the Bucks. But that was nothing against Hangman. FTR says that Hangman doesn't want the Bucks to face the Bucks again, and that Tully says fear the revelation as they go to commercial, which I thought was very weird. We then get Darby Allin versus Will Hobbs. Darby starts right away. Crazy dive through the ropes. We had Darby with a chop block on Will Hobbs because he knows he can't beat him straight up like that, power for power. So we get Hobbs using his power, and he's screaming at Darby that he needs this. Obviously, he doesn't want a match yet. We get a Stun Dog Millionaire, and then a coffin drop for the win. And then Taz on commentary says, hold on one second, I got to say something. He stands up, grabs a mic, says he has a surprise for Darby. He says he has a new member of Team Taz. He's bigger and better looking, you schmuck, which I thought was great. And then we get Ricky Starks comes in, and he says his name is Darby also. And so it's Ricky Starks dressed as Darby. Ricky he just mocking him the whole time, which I thought was hysterical. Skateboarding and turtles, I thought that was hysterical. The I like turtles. If you don't know what that is, go check the internet. Just say I like turtles. Cage hits him from behind with the FTW belt. Let's just win against the shades. Cage hits him with the FTW title. Ricky getting a gangster promo in his face, just screaming at him. Does his own coffin drop. Kind of looked like he landed on Darby's head, which was a little rough. We get Sammy out with cue cards in picture-in-picture. He says, sorry, Matt, can't catch a chair. Matt from behind with the chair during the picture-in-picture. We come back from break, and Matt is still beating the shit out of Sammy on the ramp. The ref's out to stop Hardy. Sammy helped to the back. We then get a promo from Thunder Rosa from NWA, challenging Shida at All Out, because Shida's obviously had the open challenge, even though they really haven't done anything with it. I don't know much about Thunder Rosa. I know she is the NWA Women's Champion. I think she's pretty good, I guess. I really haven't seen much of her. I just know of the name of who it is. We then get the finals of the Women's Tag Team Tournament. We get the Nightmare Sisters versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Brandy finally runs away from getting beat up to tag in Allie. They're working over Diamante through the picture-in-picture. Ivelisse gets the hot tag. Flatliner, and then an STO on Brandy for a 2 count. A spear. Brandy hits a spear on Diamante. They get a move called Down the Rabbit Hole. Ivelisse breaks the count. Hot tag to Ivelisse. An assisted sliced bread attempt on Allie. But what happens is QT gets on the apron but gets knocked down by Ivelisse. Brandy is sent over the top rope onto QT. We then get a Casadora stunner by Diamante, and then a rolling kick to the head on Allie by Ivelisse for the win. So Ivelisse and Diamante are your winners. They go to the top of the ramp. Medusa's there to present them with the trophy. The refs give them flowers. They slam the flowers on the ground. They grab their flags to represent. And that's all we see from that. So, I don't know what this means now, because I know they've been pumping up the Nightmare Sisters. This is actually their first loss. So we'll see what ends up happening between them. We get it next week it's going to be on Thursday, not Wednesday, not Saturday, but Thursday. Jericho's going to be on commentary. We get the tag team gauntlet match, as we talked about earlier. A tables match between Sammy and Hardy, and then Mox and MJF do the contract signing. We also then get Swole versus Britt Baker and Ford. Britt back from injury finally. We then get our main event, the TNT title match, Cody versus Brody Lee. So we get a new jacket for Brody, would look pretty sick. No Dark Order is out with him. This actually, the more of this match actually happened after the final of the match than actually during the match. Brody drops Cody over the top rope to the floor. Boot to the face sends Cody into the crowd area. Nasty German release by Brody back in the ring. A nasty super kick by Brody. And then powerbomb, lariat, Brody wins. Brody is now the TNT champion. So this was just like an absolute squash match. I mean, I guess they're going with the fact that Cody was just so, so burnt out from just wrestling so much and putting himself through all that he just couldn't take it. And I do like it because it finally makes Brody Lee look strong, makes the Dark Order look strong. So Tony comes out to the ring to get an interview with Brody. Cody looks like he's in rough shape. Like he's kind of got the one arm like he's unconscious, but the arm is still up somehow. We get the entire Dark Order comes out to celebrate with Brody. No one thought he could do it. Now they have the power. This is what Brody is saying. Cody's being taken out on a stretcher while this is going on. Executives like Tony had kept him down his whole career. This is what Brody is saying, obviously referring to Vince. Cody gives the thumbs up though, like he's an athlete, like in one of the football players or something. Dark Order approach. They beat up Arn Anderson, kick him in the balls. They knock Cody off the stretcher onto the floor. Brody hits Cody over the head with a black bag, which we later find out is the pieces of the old TNT title belt, which he had mentioned. He said he'd still give that to Cody, but it looked rough. I mean, obviously the pieces weren't in the bag when he hit him, but yeah, it was pretty bad. Let's see. Dark Order drag out Dustin and QT as well, lay them out. So the Nightmare family is being laid out. Brandy comes out to protect Cody. So then they all part, and Anna Jay walks into frame, and she chokes out Brandy's because obviously they don't want to beat up a woman, even though it's the Dark Order. And then they dump the bag contents, which I said was the old belt, all over Cody, and that is the end of Dynamite, which I thought was crazy that they had that as the that the Dark Order beat him. That Brody Lee beat Cody so soundly, so quickly. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, as always, so that is AEW for the week. As for my match of the week, I'm actually going to give it, even though it was a squash match, I'm going to give it to the TNT title match, Cody versus Brody Lee, because of the significance of it. One, that it was a squash match. Two, it was Cody's, him actually losing, just in general, not just losing the title. The fact that it's elevated the Dark Order, it's elevated Brody Lee. The fact that they beat up the entire Nightmare family. No one from the Elite came out to help him. Anna Jay chokes out Brandy, so now there's that kind of beef. They didn't go against Allie, though. That was interesting, that Allie wasn't out there to try and help. So I don't know if they're going to call her out for that, even though she's kind of part of the Nightmare family, but not really, because I don't know if she's actually with QT or if she's just using him. Who knows? So that was my match of the week. A lot of significant stuff, but it was a really, really great episode. So as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. Look out for my stuff for WWE, everything about TakeOver, preview predictions and the results. My previews for SummerSlam are also up. Oh, little lady wants to pop her head in. And then also I will have my review of SummerSlam as well. So for tomorrow. As always, be safe, love each other, and bye now.